In 2008, Hutch First Church the Nazarene came up with a plan to help reach our community for Christ. We identified 3 schools that we call our Hope Schools that are made up of a lot of low-income families. At Christmas time, we would go into a school and give each child a gift that contained hat and gloves, toiletries, school supplies, games, and the message of the gospel. In 2010, that expanded to include a clothing giveaway. We started giving away articles of clothing to the same families that we reached at Christmas. And then in 2011, that became the Children's Fair, where we offered free haircuts, free lunch, games, carnival fun, hygiene information for these families. We want to develop and build relationships year-round with these schools. 3 years later, that became a partnership between all 4 Nazarene churches here in Hutchinson.
For the 2013 Children's Fair, stories were retooled to be more purposeful in telling the story of Jesus Christ. Along with that came games, and one of them was an I Spy game that centered around a large tree made of tissue paper. 20 items were hidden in the tree. Zacchaeus was there, and he told the children that Jesus cared for them and looked for them even when they didn't look for him. Another of the stories centered around the lost sheep and the 99 that were left behind as the children went to find the one sheep that was lost. And then a booth included the evangelism bracelet, and the evangelism bracelet included the 5 colors that tell the gospel story. Other booths included one for the children for good oral hygiene, along with a booth for parents and caregivers of good nutrition for children.
Dios los bendiga. Un saludo cordial de la Iglesia de Nazareno Fe Viva de Hutchinson, Kansas. Queremos decirle a través de este medio que estamos trabajando en la obra, ayudando a la gente hispana, dándoles ropa, ayudándoles a sus familias y contando con los niños en la escuela dominical, dándoles historias bíblicas y en la iglesia ayudando a las familias en necesidad, compartiendo el mensaje de salvación a través de historias bíblicas. Y todo lo hacemos para las familias hispanas de Hutchinson. Dios los bendiga.
Yeah, the Children's Fair, it's a great thing to do for our community, but it's also very needed for our church and our church people. I mean, we are to be the hands and the feet of Christ. And James says something about that. We are to have faith in Jesus Christ, and our faith is very important. But our faith without works, James says, is dead. And so our faith needs to be expressed in our actions, and our actions are expressed at the Children's Fair as I see smiles on the faces of our volunteers as they teach the children's Bible stories through the games, or they take a family to get some new clothes, or they feed the hungry. Those things are very important. Even in Matthew 25, which can be a very haunting passage, when we see someone in need and we do not help them, we're not being the hands and feet of Christ, but we need to give a cool drink to someone thirsty. We need to give them something to eat and something to wear. And to me, that's what it's all about. When we see the joy on the faces of our church people as they volunteer, it's worth it all.